Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for all joining. My name is Rich Farbman. I'm Vice President of Channel Sales for Perimeter 81. I appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to join us today. We've got a really exciting agenda. I'll go through a couple housekeeping items and then get right into the content here. So, like I said, I'm Rich Farbman, been with the company just over 2 months. Really excited about the opportunity that our partners are representing for Perimeter 81. As you'll see, there's been a lot of exciting things happening over the last few months as we continue to scale and grow. But from the people that you'll be hearing speaking today, we have our CEO and co-founder, Amit Bareket, Tal Laufer, VP of Product, and we have a special guest, Steve Ryder, who is the Chief Strategy Officer from Advisory, one of our top performing partners here in North America. And from an agenda perspective, you'll hear from Amit. Amit will go over the company updates. There's been a ton going on, a lot of exciting news to share, so he'll go through that. Tal, he'll then hand it to Tal, who will go and provide a product overview, as well as a sneak peek into the product roadmap. Tal will then hand it back to me, where I will go over some channel program updates, as well as a conversation with Steven, what's led to the success of the partnership we've had with him. And then finally, we'll open it up for some questions. So you will all be muted during the call, but you will see, if you look onto your screen, there's a question mark, so you can type in your questions. We'll leave time at the end to go through those. So please type questions. We'll be monitoring that as we go through the presentation. We encourage you to speak up and ask questions. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it to Amit, and he's going to get into some company updates.
Yes, thank you, Richard, and thank you everyone that joined the call today. I'm very excited to connect after a few exciting months on our side. I wanted to share with you a few company updates. So first of all, it became much more clear for us in the past year what are the two most strong tailwinds that are accelerating the company's growth and happening in the space. One, we see companies, specifically the small and mid-sized companies, are continue to replace their on-premise appliances and firewalls with cloud internet-based solutions like Perimeter 81, allowing them to build a secure corporate network over the internet as employees are working outside the office and resources are moving to the cloud. We see that trend increases over time and becoming stronger and stronger every month. The second trend, which is also a very strong tailwind, we see that companies are lacking IT and security teams, right? Which drive companies to adopt more MSPs, and more specifically, develop the need and demand for security to be served alongside the IT and the networking piece, okay? So we're gonna see increased amount of business for all of you guys, our partners. And we as a company took a strategic decision to focus on these two tailwinds. One, continue and build the best product out there in the space, enterprise-grade solution that allows any companies from any size to build a secure network over the internet. And two, adapt our product, and both on the technology side, so on the go-to-market side, to fit partners and MSPs and allow them easily to serve the customer base. The company is growing very rapidly. We raised $100 million in funding in June from big capital, inside partners, Toba Capital, and others at $1 billion valuation. We crossed the 270 employees. Today, we have more than 2,500 end customers that are utilizing Perimeter 81 every day to basically as the secure corporate network that is easily managed and maintained over the cloud. They have hundreds of partners, 3 global offices in New York, where I am based, of LA, in Tel Aviv, where is our R&D center is. We see a great success with the partner community, and we'll hear today a first-hand story. We have more than 2,500 business customers, as I mentioned, which it basically means a great product market fit, in a very great amount of visibility to what customers are needing and how to navigate, and that basically pushes us forward with a relentless customer feedback on building the future of security and networking over the cloud and over the internet, as I mentioned. We've discussed a lot about what is the category that we're working, whether it's a firewall as a service, a secure network as a service, SASE, you probably heard the term, zero trust. There are many buzzwords, but eventually we came up with understanding that we are basically building the world's first simple and secure corporate network over the internet, allowing any company and any managed service provider and partner to build a complete network stack and security stack that is delivered as a service, just like Office 365, a software solution, easily from a single place. We were selected as leaders in the ZTNA report by Forrester, right, alongside Zscaler and Palo Alto Networks. But the beautiful thing about our product that we are focusing on building a great product. And this is something that is highly recognized by the space and the market and analysts and customers and partners. And we will continue to do so every day. In parallel of building a great product and with a very strong product market fit that allows companies to benefit and continue to operate their network over the cloud, we invest significantly in our partners. And we try to align with the way they work. So we've built our simple and easy to use multi-tenant platform. We've came up with a very strong and profitable business model that benefits our partners, and margins can get up to 60% and higher on large scale. In automating the access to licensing and integrations that we currently work with, ConnectWise and other PSAs and RMMs to make your life easier. And building a dashboard that provides a complete usage and consumption alongside enablement programs, both on the technical side and sales side, to become better. So we're allowing NFR licenses, POC licenses. We have a dedicated partner portal, dedicated partner success engineer to help with the POC's implementations and training, the certification program that we've mentioned, deal registration, and more. I will let Tal to present the latest updates on the product side, and be happy to connect at the end of the session for the QA together with the team. Thank you, Tal.
Thank you, Amit. Hi, my name is Tal Laufer. I'm VP Product for Perimeter 81. And today I'm going to go over with you on some of our roadmap items and some development that we are working on, specifically for channel partners. So first of all, a quick reminder on our architecture. I don't know if you've seen this one before. What we do is to provide the connectivity and security between all those boxes at the bottom to all the boxes at the top, very simply. Now, if we look into those, we see at the bottom that the users can access through a desktop client, through a mobile client, and through an agentless access. These are ways in which users are connecting to the organizational resources, and we need to make sure they are secured when doing so. Those users at the bottom will want to access the resources on the top. So whether it's an office network with on-premise servers or data centers, they would want to access cloud resources such as AWS, GCP, and Azure. And they would, of course, want to access the internet, right, to do their normal work. What Perimeter 81 does is to secure the access for all the users to all the resources in any use case. Now, the agentless access is a very useful tool for specifically for partners, etc., because it is providing agentless access, meaning no need to install anything on the endpoint, and allows the user to access selected applications inside the corporate resources. Now, that's a very good use case for third-party vendors, contractors, etc., that many of the companies these days are using. For all those users that are connecting to the resources, we are providing ZTNA VPN replacement, firewall as a service, device posture check, which we call DPC here, and we are securing their access to the internet using Secure Web Gateway, or SWG, by scanning all the traffic that goes into the endpoint, into the computer of the end user from the internet. We are, of course, integrated with the leader in identity provider domain and with lead log management platforms to provide with seamless integration with the customer environment. Now, we are built for the modern distributed workforce everywhere, right? We want to enable your users to access whatever organizational resource they need, no matter where they are in the world, whether they are at home, at the office, or in a cafe. We have about 40 POPs, points of presence, that are deployed across 50 plus data centers around the world. And we are basically owning the hardware, installing it and shipping it to those data centers so that they will be closest to the user, hence reducing the latency and providing the best performance for the connectivity of those end users. It is also an advantage because we basically own the network, right? We own the gateway through which all the traffic goes. We also have the agent at the endpoint, which means we have better visibility on the traffic that goes on the lines and can detect issues and provide some better visibility based on our network architecture. Now let's look at our roadmap. Last time we updated you, I think it was earlier this year. Early this year, we released the Secure Web Gateway functionality, URL filtering, along with redundant tunnels that will help with the resiliency of the platform and its deployment. In Q2, we've released some additional features for MSP that Richard is going to cover, along with deployed new data centers, increased the visibility through additional dashboard charts for active sessions and bandwidth monitoring. We also released a feature called Disable Signout that allows the admins to prevent the users from actually signing out from the agent, hence increasing the security of the organization. And in Q3, we have many features coming out. Just to name a few, we're going to provide enhanced reporting and logging, adding more logs and reports based on the data, on the usage of our platform, based on the data collected from the users and from the basically network itself. We are also going to release the malware protection, which is the second phase of our Secure Web Gateway functionality that scans all the traffic that goes into the endpoint to make sure it doesn't include any kind of malwares, trojans, viruses, etc. We're also looking into improving resiliency with blue-green architecture to create some kind of system-wide production level high availability. And public APIs are also kind of important for the channels because many of them would like to deploy us with infrastructure as code kind of methodology and configure things on our platform based on public APIs. Later in the year, we will release ConnectWise integration, which is connectivity integration with ConnectWise platform for billing. It will allow the partner to actually view the billing from Perimeter 81 inside their ConnectWise platform, hence allowing consolidation of all those different bills and different vendors that a specific end customer or a channel is working with. CASB inline is also another plan for Q4 that will allow for application control and more granular control in terms of what SaaS applications can be accessed, what actions can be done on each one of those applications. The biggest release of this quarter is going to be the Secure Web Gateway malware protection. As I mentioned, we've already released the web filtering feature, and it exists in your platforms if you are using. And it is basically allowing you to define who can access which internet category or even specific domain. It is good for maintaining policy for, security policy for the company, and also deny users from accessing illegitimate websites during work hours. And the malware protection is going to add another layer on top of that URL filtering by preventing malicious content from reaching the user's browsers and devices, stopping it in midway. That is planned to come out in September, and both of them are going to be sold together, both the web filtering and the malware protection, under one product, which is our Secure Web Gateway. One last piece here is to talk about is our redundancy. We have tunnel level redundancy, which is the high availability tunnels that I mentioned earlier, redundant tunnels. What we have basically implemented is the ability to create two tunnels on the top here, T1 and T2, that will be connected from the gateways to the customer network or the resource, and basically allowing for redundancy in case one tunnel fails, the other one will back it up and will maintain connectivity to the resource. The benefits of that are lower latency because there are multiple tunnels and the traffic is balanced between those different tunnels. And the fact that the resource is available in case of a gateway failure or a tunnel failure. We recommend our customers to deploy this feature. It is we do not charge for it. It is better practice for network resiliency. A few features on an MSP. So minimum adjustments are already available, and Richard is going to cover that. We've made some invoice enhancements, adding some more information as per request from you, our partners, to add some customer ID and some other fields into the invoice. We are about to add another type of role for admin billing, which is an admin that can view billing information but not able to change anything else on the configuration of the network. And in Q4, we are going to release a ConnectWise integration that I mentioned earlier that will allow for consolidated billing across multiple platforms. All right. Okay, handing it over to Rich.
Thank you, Tal. And thank you, Amit. A lot of exciting things happening, as you can clearly hear. What I don't see is any questions in the chat. There's been a lot of information. Tal just gave so much exciting stuff that's forthcoming and things we're working on. So please put some stuff in the chat for Tal and or the rest of us, and we'll make sure to get to that at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, moving forward in some exciting channel program updates. So hopefully you're aware of these things already. We have two incentives that are currently running and available for partners. One is tied to your first deal. So anyone who has yet to sell a deal with Perimeter 81 and brings a deal within the third quarter, there's incentives tied to that. And then the second is tied to deal registration. So partners that have sold with us and register a qualified deal with the appropriate channel manager in their geography will have an incentive tied to it. So if you're not familiar with these, please reach out to your channel team, reach out to me, and we can make you fill in the details around it. Secondly, we've launched a partner newsletter. Everyone on here should have been in receipt of that earlier in the month. We'll continue to do that month over month with exciting updates from a product, company, and channel perspective. Tal alluded to this just on the last slide, but we've listened to our partners. We've made some changes. The minimums was a thing that kept coming up over and over. And when I say the minimums that are tied to some of our plans, whether it's premium or premium plus, we had minimums that were associated with those. And so from a partner perspective, you all have the ability to onboard all of your customers ideally at this point, right? So we reduced the minimums down to 5. Historically, they were 20 or 50. And so that was prohibitive for you to be able to take all of your customer base and migrate them over or enable them to benefit from Perimeter 81. And then the partner portal, it's forthcoming. We'll send out an announcement in the coming weeks. It should be no longer than 2 weeks now until we release a new partner portal. We're updating it with content, collateral, white paper, calendar of events where myself and the channel team, as well as the extended leadership team of Perimeter, will be in the coming months and quarters. It's going to have certification tracks in there, both technical and sales, as well as deal registration. You'll be able to manage all of your active deal registrations with us, have visibility into those. So a lot more to come. As you can tell, there's a lot of exciting things coming that will enable you all to have success with Perimeter. So without further ado, this is the part I'm really looking forward to. We have one of our most strategic partners in North America, True North, as we knew them just over a week ago, is now Visory, and we have Stephen Ryder, the Chief Strategy Officer, on with us. So Stephen, first and foremost, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us and shed a little light into the partnership that we've had with you for just over a year. Let's kick it off. Do you mind sharing a little bit about yourself, True North, and how it became Visory, and let the audience know kind of who you are and what Visory's focus is?
Yeah, sure, Rich. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's been a great partnership. So True North started back in 2002. I started it, as I think many companies start in the basement of their house and just kind of get it up and running. Our vertical has been the financial service industry, and we grew over the years and created an ESOP. I always wanted to take care of our employees, so I created an employee-owned company back in 2020. I was approached at the end of 2020. I wasn't quite ready to sell, but I guess everything has a price, and that price was pretty aggressive. And so I ended up taking the offer and cashing everybody out, all the employees out of the ESOP, and ended up being a great transaction. The equity firm that acquired us, they're a small equity firm out of Connecticut. They're fantastic people, and been really happy with working with them. They acquired several other firms. One was a direct competitor of ours, and I knew back in March of 2021 at some point our day would come when we would actually start getting all together. Today, right now, True North still runs. I mean, this kind of funny, as we were preparing for this webinar, I was the CEO of True North, and by the time the webinar got going here, I'm now the Chief Strategy Officer of Visory. But as of today, I still run the day-to-day at True North. And we will begin to integrate with the other partner firms, and over the next 6 to 12 months, and eventually I will be Chief Strategy Officer of Visory. The True North logo will eventually be sunsetted.
Excellent. That's great. What will be the kind of going forward, the main focus of Visory? Where will you all, how will it differentiate from True North, or will it just be a double down of efforts with a larger team?
No, great question. It will be a larger effort with, again, one of our main competitors within the financial services industry, the wealth management industry. I'm very excited to start working with them rather than competing against them. And, the big play for us that I think was advantageous for the combination is, we have a pretty strong MSSP, managed security service provider, which we, added your product to that offering, which has been a terrific enhancement, by the way. And that's kind of where we fit. So we will be able to offer the MSSP to the other companies that really didn't have that offering. So I see great things for all of us, including, beginning to offer Perimeter 81 to an ongoing list of clients that we'll be able to add to.
I love it. It's new.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah. That's what we like to hear. So let's take a step back at the beginning of the partnership. Can you give a little insight as to why you originally chose to partner with Perimeter 81, what went into that evaluation, kind of all the details around that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are an MSSP. We've done cloud hosting. So we're an MSSP, and we're a cloud hosting provider. And as COVID started happening and we started to see people, working a lot more from home, for people who had the cloud hosting solutions, it wasn't as big of a deal, but, we started seeing a lot of our clients are all cloud-based, so we started looking at challenging the way we do business. And what I mean by that is as SaaS-based applications have become more prevalent within our vertical, I started challenging our own company saying, why am I selling a cloud-based solution to go over to the cloud as a hosting or virtual desktop? Why go to the cloud to go to the cloud again if there's not quote unquote legacy or install-based applications? Why not pull people off of the cloud and have them work locally? Okay, so that's great idea, Steve, but how do we secure that, right? What is the secure way to deliver that method? So we started toying around and looking at, SaaS-based secure access service edge solutions like Perimeter 81, piloted it, tried it out internally. We were using VPN technology that was really not all that great. A lot of our team had struggled with, performance, throughput, reliability, connectivity, just through a traditional VPN solution, and struggled with it. And so stumbled upon you guys, and while we were looking for a better solution and said, hey, let's pilot this Perimeter 81. The results for us were phenomenal, as far as, applications that are accessed in our network, and the performance and feedback from our team was really, really outstanding. So once we piloted it, we started discussing the technology with some of our clients. Some of our clients who were struggling with VDIs, so, while again, VDIs, right, are good, but, think about COVID, right? I mean, everybody started going to these type of applications, WebEx, Teams, Zoom, that don't work so well over the virtual desktop infrastructure. They're at best, get maybe 80 to 90% of what it would look like running on a local desktop. So having clients struggling with running Zoom meetings and things like that. So we started saying, there's got to be a better way. So we started suggesting folks, because they don't have anything running really on the virtual desktops, except maybe file share. So we pulled a few of our clients off of virtual desktops, installed Perimeter 81, provide that posture checking on the device, the content filtering, DNS filtering, and provide them a secure access into the network, making sure that they have to be on a company-owned device, secured-owned device. And I'm telling you, our client satisfaction has gone way up with some of those folks, and our ticketing systems has gone way down, with people much happier with the performance and much happier with the delivery.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And that's extremely helpful for us to hear. You had mentioned that when you were evaluating it, you did the POC. I'm curious to know what the learning curve or the onboarding for you and the team was when you were kind of past the POC, what that looked like, how quickly you were all able to become kind of subject matter experts and enable your customers to migrate over to the solution.
It was really pretty simple, honestly. I know people hear this stuff and they don't believe it, but it really is really pretty simple, the deployment. What I really love about it is I travel a lot. And so what I love about it is it's on my laptop. And when I'm in the office, it's off. And when I leave the office, it default turns on. So it's somewhat idiot proof. We use single sign-on, for the application. And, and when I'm traveling in a hotel or wherever I'm going, I see it pop up, and it doesn't even pop up. It just automatic. I know it's logging in because I get a sense of, making sure that it does connect me, because I can't access the resources anyway if it doesn't connect me. So I know it connects me, but it's behind the scenes. It's fairly easy to deploy. It's easy to support. There's a lot of end user things to force, as Tal said earlier, to force it, the client cannot sign off from it. They have to be logged in. So the features and the support from your team has been phenomenal. I know there was one version that we were struggling with, I think with bandwidth, that we had opened a ticket, and your response to resolve the issue was rapid. To get that resolved, we provide some logs, and so that the support you guys have provided us have been phenomenal as well. There's no perfect technology, as you know, and you got to make sure you have the great support behind the scenes when something goes south, for sure.
Yeah, it's something we pride ourselves on, and the way you described it, right, is extremely simple. If you poke around on our website, you'll see that that's our tagline, right? The solution, the technology is radically simple, as we like to call it. So to hear it from you, it validates that, and we truly believe it is compared to our competitors. And once partners have the ability to onboard customers, they'll experience that as well. Curious to know, and you alluded to a couple before, are there any other patterns or use cases that we've been able to help you solve for your customers outside of like the VDI and things you were alluding to before?
Yeah, I really like the posture checking, that really enhances our MSSP offering, to make sure that devices are company owned, that, they have to have, BitLocker, they have to have the antivirus to be approved. They have to have a file in there to make sure that it's company owned device. One kind of fun story was one of our guys was working remotely, and he was struggling because he couldn't, get into the network and access the network. And he was like, what the hell's going on here? And sure enough, what he had ended up having to rebuild his laptop, and the BitLocker encryption had not quite finished yet. And so, Perimeter 81 locked him out of our network, which was cool. It was really great that, did the trick and locked him out, and it should have. So, it's a great additional, back, the word posture checking. It's a great check to make sure all these security features are working, for our clients, to make sure they're indeed enabled, before they can access, their respective resources. So the use cases continue to improve. I mean, people have been very happy with it, whether they're on a VDI or not on a VDI. We use, IP whitelisting, so, they cannot get access to certain applications without accessing, in the old days, you would IP whitelist from the office. You got to be in the office to be access these specific, web-based applications. Now we just IP whitelist the office and, the Perimeter 81 IP that gets assigned to the respective clients. So it does allow them truly to work from anywhere, knowing it's on a secured environment, secure machine, all those types of things. So, it's becoming a de facto standard of our MSSP offering, that we plan to make sure it's pretty much every single, proposal we're sending for prospective clients includes your line item for your product now.
I'd love to hear that. I hope it doesn't result in more quota for me and my team. I love to hear it.
Well, that could be Rich. That'll be our secret. We don't have to.
Yeah, perfect. Last question I have for you, and once again, thank you so much for taking the time here. And I think you've alluded to this, but what's been the feedback from your clients on utilizing Perimeter 81? Has it been a similar sentiment around the simplicity? Has there been other feedback that's you think relevant to share here with the team?
Yeah, the simplicity is huge, and again, right, efficiency is huge, right? When we're in this business, things need to work. If things aren't working, we're not making money. So the best use case I have is, we have a 120 person firm. We had been losing money, hosting in the virtual desktop environment and struggling for making money just for some of the ticket volume we had gotten over years. After we finished the deployment of Perimeter 81, it took about 3 months to deploy it. We tested it with the client. We made sure it worked. Deployed it over a 3-month period. After that 3-month period has been the first time we've been profitable on that client in over a year, by using Perimeter 81, getting them off the virtual desktops, having just stuff working, the Zooms working. They do a lot of collaboration. Accessing to their files over a hosted, we still host their files, we still host their domain. The authentication is really slick, with Perm 81, password resets. I mean, everything works really, really well to reduce the ticket volume. So that for us has been our best use case scenario. The irony, we took a big risk because we used it internally, and one of our largest clients was chirping about our performance and using the virtual desktops, and we said, do we really want to take a leap of faith and go deploy this to one of our larger clients in hopes that this is going to work? And we as I said, we had a great success, and we ended up ripping the Band-Aid off and took that leap, and thus far it's worked out quite well.
That's awesome. Thank you, and thank you once again for your time. We appreciate the partnership, and we look forward to sharing and continued success with you. So I see 2 questions have come into the chat. First one I'll handle, and then the next one I'll hand to Tal or Amit if you want to take it. But can you send us this presentation? Yes, we will follow up to everyone that's attended, send out the presentation. Feel free to reach out if you have specific questions around the presentation, any part of it. And then the second question is, can redundancy be implemented with WireGuard?
I'll take that. So right now, the tunnel redundancy works for IPsec only. We plan to implement WireGuard later this year as well.
Beautiful. Last slide is a thank you. So appreciate everyone joining today. Thank you to Stephen once again for helping and telling the story of the partnership we've enjoyed with you. If you have any questions, as you can see, there's a couple different ways to reach out. But once again, thank you for the time today. Appreciate everyone joining, and enjoy the rest of the day. Take care.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you everyone for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.